Have you noticed that? In the blink of an eye, time seems to fly by. But wait, what if I told you it's not just time that's making you age? Many of those bad habits you consider harmless are doing the dirty work, quietly aging your body and mind without you even realizing it. Andrew was a dedicated farmer, known for his hard work and the quality of his crops. However, despite being young, his face and body showed signs of exhaustion, as if he carried many more years than he actually had. They seem insignificant at first, but in the long run, they leave deep marks. The wise man smiled and gave him advice. Listen to your body and take care of it as you would your crops. Sleep well. Eat what truly nourishes you. Give your body the rest it needs. Taking care of our habits is, ultimately, taking care of our life, and, well, these are habits that, if you cultivate them, will restore your energy and freshness. Sleeping little, neglecting your body, consuming substances that fill you with momentary energy but exhaust you afterward, all of this, little by little, makes the body age faster. Well, of course, most of us live with the idea that sleeping less than 8 hours is a sign of productivity and ambition. The glorious culture of insomnia. But here's the key point. That lack of sleep isn't just harming your health. It's also aging you faster than a banana left on the counter. Well, beyond your toxic relationship with the alarm clock, there are habits that sneak into your life like a cat into a cardboard box. Let's talk about them. Staying up all night or watching series until the sun comes up, checking your phone every minute, and consuming caffeine as if there's no tomorrow. All these behaviors combine into a delicious recipe that could be titled How to Become a Premature Zombie. Does that sound familiar? Your body loves regularity, so try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Cortisol, epinephrine, and adrenaline are like those friends who are always there during difficult times. Useful, but let's be honest, a little toxic if they stick around too long. These hormones help regulate blood pressure and fight infections. But, surprise, they are also responsible for accelerating aging. That's right, excess cortisol can cause your skin to lose elasticity and leave you with that "I have you and slept in a week" look. Take care of yourself, because there's no reset button in this game called life. There are habits that, without you realizing it, are working against you. Like that friend who's always late and wastes your time. If you're thinking it's just a small pleasure, allow me to be the voice of reason, or the voice of smoke, if you prefer. You might wonder what Stoics have to do with this. Keeping your skin well hydrated is essential. Well, imagine these ancient philosophers as the guardians of your skin. First, think about the power of hydration. You can continue living in the illusion that smoking doesn't affect your appearance, or you can take control of your life and start taking care of your skin. Just like the Stoics, who believed in self-discipline and reason, you too can be the architect of your own destiny. Although life can be a carousel of fleeting pleasures, remember that your skin will thank you in the long run. The thing is, it's not just about quenching thirst. It's much more. By not drinking enough water, you're not only doing your skin a disservice and making it rough. Imagine your skin as a plant. If you water it enough, it flourishes. If you let it dry out, it withers. Simple as that. It should be your #1 priority. But think about this. Stoic philosophy teaches us to accept what we cannot change and to act on what we can. If you care about your skin and your overall health, start drinking the right amount of water. Remember, your body is your temple, and like any temple, it needs regular maintenance. To finish, here's a thought that might resonate with you. If you haven't realized it yet, my dear friend, life is like water. If you don't take care of it, it will evaporate without you noticing. If you can't change your dull skin, at least you can decide to drink more water. It's a small step towards self-care that can make a big difference. And dull, but you're also accumulating toxins, as if you were a human landfill. So, are you ready to quit smoking and opt for a path that highlights your true beauty? As Brian Tracy says, youth is a gift of nature, but aging is a masterpiece of life. Imagine your skin is like a plant. If you water it enough, it flourishes. If you let it dry out, it withers. It's that simple. Eliminating that pernicious smoke is also crucial. And if you have, perhaps you've realized that your skin isn't exactly the fresh, radiant canvas it used to be. The reason, yes, you guessed it, lack of water. But come on, it's not like you're really going to die from trying to drink a couple of liters a day, right? Always carry a water bottle with you. Think of it as your best friend, the one who's always there to remind you to hydrate. When you see it, it's like it's saying, hey, don't forget me. Also, associate water with specific moments of your day. Drink a glass of water every time you sit down to work or after each task completed. That way, hydration becomes part of your daily routine and not something you do only when you feel your throat is dry. If plain water seems boring, add a few slices of lemon, cucumber, or herbs, and your drink will go from a tasteless liquid to a cocktail worthy of a fancy bar, even if it's just in your kitchen. So let's talk about this. Adopting healthy lifestyle habits. Eating fresh fruits and vegetables, full of antioxidants, can be like a shield against those invisible enemies that tobacco leaves behind. And of course, there's exercise, which not only improves your circulation, but is also an excellent way to release stress. Like Yuri in a competitive drinking challenge, while women need about 2 liters or 8 cups, because of course balance must be maintained. But let's be honest, many of us don't even reach half of those figures. Life gets in the way. Work, social media, that series you just have to watch. And without realizing it, we let our bodies dehydrate like a dessert. They advocated living according to reason and nature, and what's natural about inhaling smoke and exhaling life. Tobacco not only reduces the amount of oxygen and nutrients your skin needs to look radiant, but it also activates mischievous enzymes that compromise your face's elasticity. It's as if your skin is screaming, "Where's my collagen?" Smoking isn't just a habit that stains your teeth and gives your breath a particular aroma. It's also a cunning thief that steals the youth from your skin. Imagine your skin constantly struggling to breathe. It's like trying to run a marathon with a plastic bag over your head. Lack of oxygen affects tissue regeneration, making your skin look more tired and aged. If you're one of those who think small pleasures don't affect their appearance, think twice. Sometimes, every puff of smoke is like a thief sneaking into your house, stealing your youth and leaving visible signs of aging in its wake. What a great party. That's right, tobacco becomes that enemy you don't even realize you have until it's too late. And here we are, ready to break this down with a little sarcasm and a good dose of reflection. Yes, that practice that seems reserved for Tibetan monks, and that we often think has no place in our busy lives. Meditation and mindfulness are disciplines that can be integrated into your daily routine without costing you an arm and a leg. You don't need a monastery or a meditation shawl to start, just a few minutes a day. Imagine sitting in a quiet corner of your house, like a small oasis in the middle of chaos. With each inhalation, you absorb calm. With each exhalation, you release stress. There are simple exercises you can do at home, like focusing on your breath or visualizing a place that gives you peace. This not only helps reduce cortisol levels, but also gives you a clearer perspective on your problems. And who knows, maybe you will discover that ice cream is you and a solution, and that a walk in the park can be more rigid. Maybe you're tempted to eat that chocolate ice cream every time you face a problem. Or you avoid going out to exercise because, of course, the sofa is so cozy. These are examples of bad habits that make you age faster. And if all else fails, take note of what I'm about to tell you. My friend, wisdom isn't measured in hours worked, but in hours of restful sleep. Give your body the rest it deserves and you'll see how it thanks you. So, instead of letting stress overwhelm you, adopt a stoic attitude. Accept that life will bring you challenges, but you also have the tools to manage them. Stress can be a formidable enemy, but it doesn't have to win the battle. By controlling your exposure to stresses and adopting practices like meditation, you will not only reduce cortisol levels in your body, but you will also gain mental clarity and well-being. Remember, life is like a game of chess. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stop, breathe, and think about your next move. The next time you feel stress is getting the better of you, take a deep breath and remember, as Epictetus said, calmness is the refuge of the wise. It's not a math exam, it's simply giving yourself a break. Also, create a conducive environment. Darkness is your best friend. Close those curtains and turn off the lights. That bright screen won't let you sleep well. Stress has become an unavoidable companion in our modern lives, like the smell of coffee in the morning or mobile notifications at 3 a.m. But did you know that this stress, besides making us furrow our brows, is also aging our skin? Meditating or reading a good book before bed can be your ticket to restful sleep. Yes, that cortisol your body produces to face daily challenges is unexactly an ally in your fight against aging. If necessary, use earplugs and an eye mask. Your room should be a sanctuary of peace, not a circus. Don't forget to disconnect. Try putting your phone away at least an hour before bed. I promise you the world will survive without your social media updates for one night. And finally, relax. Stoic philosophy teaches us to find calm in the storm. Apply this to your nights, and you'll see the difference. Over time, his friends and neighbors noticed a change in him. His eyes regained their sparkle, his skin looked healthier, and his mood improved. The lesson Andrew learned was clear. Small habits that seem harmless can cause the body and soul to wither if we do want to pay attention to them. And just as a plant needs constant care, our body also needs to be cared for to flourish and stay strong. Yes, I'm talking about those details you ignore every day. And while you think everything is under control, they silently wear you down. And said, "You seem to carry the weight of your years on your shoulders, Andrew, even though you are still young. It's like you have a small team of builders working on constructing an improved version of yourself. While you sleep, tissues repair, cells revitalize. And if you've had a tough day, that wonderful team is there to clean up the mess. So, if you decide to cut short those builder's hours, don't be surprised if you wake up and find a couple of new wrinkles, under-eye bags that could house a small cat, and saggy skin that could rival an old deflated balloon. The reality is that sleeping less than 8 hours intensifies these problems. Lack of sleep negatively affects circulation, like trying to throw a party at home without enough space for everyone. It's not a good plan, and the result is the same: chaos and discomfort. What a burden you bear to look this way. Andrew, surprised, reflected, and began to talk about his daily life. He realized that he spent long hours without rest, with few breaks to eat or hydrate properly. He tended to sleep little, as he spent sleepless nights worrying about his harvest. And to combat fatigue, he resorted to caffeine and excessive sugar. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of caring for the essentials, not wasting energy on what steals our peace. But tell me, are you truly caring for the essentials in your life? Perhaps it's time to stop ready to discover which habits you need to eradicate today. Don't miss the last one, because it will leave you speechless. But before we begin, pay attention to this story that will help you better understand the wisdom contained in this material. Once upon a time, there was a man named Andrew who lived in a quiet village. One day, while working in the field, a wise old man approached him. The old man looked at him with understanding and said, "Andrew, bad habits can be like drops of water that wear down a stone." Intrigued, Andrew asked, "How can I change that?" From that day on, Andrew began to make small changes in his life. He started sleeping enough, hydrating, and reducing his consumption of The moral of this story is that sometimes what we believe are simple, harmless habits can silently wear us down. Before we start with the first lesson, if you find these videos helpful, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed about the latest updates. 1. Sleeping less than 8 hours. Have you ever wondered why coffee seems to be the only thing with universal value in the world of work? Let's break this down. During the night, your body enters repair mode. Now, how do we get to this point? The answer is closer than you think. Meditation. So, what to do to combat this journey towards premature antiquity? First, establish a routine. So, the next time you feel proud of those sleepless nights, remember that your body is filing a formal complaint and that you're accelerating your aging process. 2. Daily stress. Have you ever felt like a circus juggler trying to keep a bunch of balls in the air, representing your daily tasks? Let's talk a bit about stress hormones. Now, I don't want to scare you, but daily stress isn't just about bad decisions when choosing TV series to binge watch instead of going to bed. So, what's the solution? And speaking of rejuvenating, don't forget that the Stoics also teach us to face adversity with serenity and strength. 3. Smoking. Have you ever thought about what tobacco really does to your skin? Smoking is like inviting a group of Stoics to your birthday party and watching them take all the presents. It's simpler than it seems. First, make hydration a habit. But wait, that's not all. The toxins in smoke interfere with cellular oxygen. So, what's the solution besides considering a radical lifestyle change? Yes, quitting smoking is a good idea. There are other strategies you can incorporate. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. 4. Not drinking enough water. Have you looked in your mirror lately? If the answer is no, you're missing a spectacle worthy of a horror movie. Most of us know that water is vital, but in our modern lives it often seems like we don't even have time to fill a glass. According to experts, the recommended intake is clear. Men should drink about 2.5 liters a day. Yes, that's about 11 cups. How to solve this little big problem? And finally, remember Stoic philosophy. I know it sounds strange to mention Stoics in a text about water. So, in conclusion, neglecting hydration may seem like a harmless bad habit, but in reality it's a direct path to premature aging. 5. Consuming too much caffeine. Caffeine, that delicious elixir that makes us feel like superheroes in the mornings and, for some inexplicable reason, turns us into tolerable beings in the afternoons. Yes, it's that little marvel that promises to awaken your mind, but often becomes the cause of your cravings and nervous jitters. Coffee is the fuel that drives you, but if you add too much, you could end up crashing into the wall. That's where the chaos begins. Caffeine can speed up your nervous system as if you were a hamster running on its wheel. And it's in those moments when you realize that your heart is beating at an alarming rate and anxiety appears like an unwanted guest. Stoic philosophy teaches us to seek balance and not get carried away by excesses. Learning to consume it in moderation will allow you to enjoy its benefits without suffering its side effects. Remember, like the Stoics, balance is key. So the next time you're tempted to do a coffee marathon, think about your future self and ask yourself if it's really worth it. That cozy spot where you spend hours aimlessly watching series online or, at best, mentally planning your ideal life while munching on a bag of chips, or sedentary lifestyle, that charming you-thief that whispers in your ear just a little more woe unhurt. But in reality, let's not kid ourselves, it does. If you find an exercise you truly enjoy, those 45 minutes will become a small oasis of happiness in your day. If you're still not convinced, think about the cost of not taking action. A sedentary lifestyle not only reduces your life expectancy, but also increases the chances of suffering from cardiovascular diseases. Did you know that the heart is like the engine of that classic car? If you don't take care of it, it could leave you stranded on the road sooner rather than later. Instead, let's talk about solutions. Limiting sugar in coffee or sodas might seem like a good first step. Take inventory of your kitchen and say goodbye to products that offer nothing but excessive sweetness. Choose the path of wisdom and health. Every bite is a choice. My friend, don't be fooled by a simple reason, and that is that true well-being is built with patience and love, not with fad diets. Your skin and your heart will thank you. Experiment with natural alternatives like stevia or coconut sugar. Also, adopt some of the teachings of Stoic philosophy. Think about what you truly need and what is simply a craving. Making sun protection a daily habit isn't just an act of sun, it's an investment in your future. Apply sunscreen every morning, just like you brush your teeth. You'd be surprised how many people ignore this simple step. And don't forget to reapply frequently, because sunscreen loses effectiveness over time. So, if you don't want to turn into a croissant, make sure to reapply every 2 hours, especially if you're at the beach, exercising, or sweating like a chicken on a summer day. Plus, not all sunscreens are created equal. It's important to choose one. That doesn't leave your skin greasier than a cheeseburger. If that doesn't sound like a compelling argument to make a doctor's appointment, perhaps you should re-examine your sense of logic. The answer is as simple as following a restaurant menu. There are lightweight options and even some with a touch of color that will make you feel good and look better. And of course, don't keep the information to yourself. Talking to friends and family about the importance of sunscreen could save more than one from a future full of wrinkles and freckles. If you don't, you might end up seeing your skin wrinkle like a raisin. It's not just a bad habit. It's like refusing to eat your vegetables because you prefer French fries. Modern life is full of distractions. Fast food, chronic stress, and those sleepless nights where you wonder if you really need that Netflix series that has you hooked. Ignoring your medical checkups is like wishing the clouds would disappear just because you don't like getting wet. In the end, the storm always comes. Don't let routine consume you. Take care of yourself with the same diligence with which you manage your social media. Remember, health is not just the absence of disease. It's a state of complete well-being that is sometimes measured in medical checkups. So, the next time you think about skipping that checkup, remember what the Stoics say. There is no greater wisdom than to anticipate what may come and prepare for it. I invite you to subscribe, turn on notifications. As Nelson Mandela said, health is the first step to success, so don't forget to check it occasionally. Every time you decide to skip a medical checkup, it's as if you're feeding this monster called negligence. I'm excited to hear about your successful experiences and comment so that YouTube recognizes that these videos are helpful to people like you. This motivates us to continue creating similar content in the future. I suggest you check out the last 2 videos we recommend. I sincerely appreciate your time and support. See you on our next adventure. Did you know that some habits are so insidious that you don't even notice them? Smoking a cigarette here, skipping breakfast there, and suddenly, snap, you find yourself checking your own symptoms on Google and, spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. So, if you're thinking about getting health insurance, make sure it includes these types of checkups. In a world where time seems to fly and days turn into weeks, making a small effort to improve your health can be the best gift you give yourself. Your skin deserves more than that. So, become the hero of your own story. Protect your skin and prevent damage before it is too late. Those papers full of strange terms no one understands, and that nurse who always smiles at you as if she is in a kindness contest. A gilded cage, perhaps, but a cage nonetheless. You can start by integrating small practices into your daily life. Perhaps a 30-minute walk, a healthy breakfast, or even meditating for 5 minutes a day. Over time, these changes will not only improve your physical well-being but also keep you alert to your body's signals. And when it's time for your checkup, you'll go with a smile, not with a feeling of guilt. But what if I told you that freedom is actually a cage? The truth is, medical checkups aren't just another nuisance on the to-do list. They're a lifeline that we often ignore. Remember, in life you have to make smart decisions, and using sunscreen is one of the best. As a true Hollywood star would tell you, your skin is your first dress. Protect it with style. So, when do we start taking care of that skin and age faster than your friends who, for some reason, seem to have the elixir of youth? Do you really want to be that friend everyone pities at gatherings? Moderation, my friends, is key. According to Stoic philosophy, one could say the sun is like those adversities in life that you cannot avoid. But unlike Stoic wisdom, which teaches us to accept the inevitable, you can take steps to protect yourself from the damage the sun can cause. By using at least SPF 30 sunscreen every day, even on cloudy days, you are arming yourself against premature aging. It's like carrying an umbrella on a cloudy day. It might not rain, but if it does, you'll be prepared. Think of it as your own armor. The next time you feel the urge to devour a dessert, remember that your skin, your health, and your future are watching you. Don't let a simple craving turn into a harmful habit. Make moderation your ally and become the hero of your own story. But here's the trick. Sugar is camouflaged in many other products you consume daily. From sauces to processed foods, sugar sneaks in everywhere using names like sucrose, fructose, or even syrup. It's like a food ninja waiting to attack you from behind. The reality is, the sun doesn't take vacations. Even if you're in the shade enjoying your coffee, those ultraviolet rays sneak in like an uninvited friend to the party. So, for the love of all that is good, why don't you do yourself a favor and start using sunscreen daily? It's like life insurance for your skin. only you don't have to pay monthly premiums or deal with bureaucracy. A few minutes of physical activity can make all the difference. Let us talk about how those 45 minutes of daily exercise can be your ticket back to youth or a healthier version of yourself. Less than 45 minutes a day doesn't sound so terrifying, does it? Think of it as an act of self. So, get up, stretch those legs, and give your body the exercise it deserves. After all, being sedentary is a sure way to reach old age without having lived fully. Engrave this in your memory. Taking care of your body is the first step to living a full life. If you don't, someone else will, but not in the way you'd like. As Marcus Aurelius rightly defended, true power is not in what you consume, but in what you choose to leave out. If you leave it parked for too long, the paint starts to wear off. The engine rusts. Because, let's be honest, sugar might seem like our taste buds' best friend. Wrinkles appear. Happy early birthday. Did you know that sugar abuse can cause inflammation and acne? Yeah, it's not just an urban myth. Those little breakouts that appear out of nowhere could be the result of that donut you devoured without thinking. But wait, there's more. Sugar not only affects your skin, but it's also a master of disguise. It binds to the collagen and elastin proteins in your skin through a process called glycation. As a result, your skin loses elasticity, and guess what? And if all this weren't enough to make you reflect on your habits, here's the most serious part. Sugar is one of the main culprits of cardiovascular diseases and high cholesterol. If you thought cholesterol was just a term doctors used to scare you, think again. Abusing sugar not only affects your skin, it also puts your heart at risk, that noble muscle that pumps blood and emotions throughout your body. But in the long run, it becomes that annoying acquaintance who overstays their welcome at the party. The thing is, life is too short to let a handful of candies ruin your skin, your health, and, of course, your future as the youngest version of yourself. So let's talk about sugar abuse, a topic as sweet as it is bitter, and in the blink of an eye, you'll have to spend a fortune on repairs. The same goes for your muscles, bones, and joints. If you don't give them some movement, you'll start to notice that time passes faster than you'd like. Yes, my friend, the sedentary lifestyle accelerates premature aging, and before you know it, you'll be closer to being a grandparent than to your best self. Caffeine in moderate doses can be beneficial. It has antioxidants, and a couple of cups a day can even improve your concentration. It's a simple but powerful tip. Sometimes, what you really need isn't more coffee, but a good book, an outdoor walk, or even some meditation. Practicing this can help you regain calm and free yourself from the anxiety that caffeine can generate. Finally, if you find yourself in the caffeine vortex, consider switching some of your drinks to decaffeinated options. And before you throw your hands up thinking about an exercise marathon, here's the good news. You don't have to be a gym fanatic to follow this recommendation. The key is to find something you truly enjoy. It could be lifting weights, dancing in your living room, or going for a walk while listening to your favorite podcast. You see, it all counts. Of course, lifting weights is one of the most effective methods to combat aging. And no, you don't need to become the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. With just a couple of dumbbells or some body resistance, you can start to notice significant changes. Remember, it's about challenging your body, not torturing it. You might feel like something's missing at first, as if you've abandoned an old friend. But as the old saying goes, sometimes you have to let go to move forward. But like everything in life, there's a limit. Science suggests that you shouldn't consume more than 2 caffeinated beverages a day. And if you're a lover of organic coffee, green tea, or black tea, you're in luck because those are the healthiest. If you've ever wondered if caffeine is truly your best friend or a cruel antagonist, this text is for you. Here we'll explore how too much caffeine can turn you into an anxious, sped-up being, and most importantly, how to avoid falling into that deadly trap. Here are some solutions that will help you navigate the turbulent waters of caffeine. First of all, set a limit. 2 cups or more. You can think of it as a Stoic, resisting the temptation of fleeting pleasure for the sake of your long-term well-being. If you feel that coffee has become your constant companion, perhaps it's time to have a serious conversation with yourself. Imagine you're a sports car roaring down the road. But wait, what happens if you decide to ignore those recommendations? But don't worry, dear reader, not all is lost. Also, keep in mind the 6-hour rule. Avoid consuming caffeine at least 6 hours before bedtime. Caffeine can be your ally or your worst enemy, depending on how you choose to play your cards. 6. Not exercising enough daily. Have you noticed that your couch is starting to become your best friend? Your body is like a classic car, one of those that everyone admires at antique fairs. Experts suggest that spending at least 45 minutes a day doing physical activity is the secret. First, become a food detective. Read labels and find out where sugar is hiding. Stoic philosophy teaches us that control and discipline are essential for a full life, so why not apply that to your daily routine? So, the next time you think about that extra hour of series, remember that your body needs that love in the form of movement. 7. Abusing sugars. Have you ever stopped to think about what a sweet treat truly means? Sugar, that little white powder we all love, has earned its reputation as a villain in the health world. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not here to make you feel guilty for every piece of cake you've eaten in recent years. So, what can you do? After all, life is too short to let sugar age you faster than it really should. 8. Not using sunscreen daily. Have you ever wondered why people only remember to use sunscreen when they're about to turn into a shrimp on the seashore? Let's get to the point. Sun radiation isn't limited to summer vacations. It's there, lurking every time you go outside. The Stoics believed that virtue was the key to a fulfilling life, so why not be virtuous with your skin? Now, it's not just about applying a little sunscreen and moving on with your life. It's an art, a practice you should integrate into your daily routine. Stop using sunscreen only when you go to the beach. 9. Skipping medical checkups. Do you remember that feeling of freedom when you decide to ignore your medical checkups? As if by not showing up you were somehow mocking the system. According to recent university studies from this very year, these checkups can detect pathologies in 90% of people. Yes, 90%. So how often should you go for your medical checkup? Up to 40 years old, you should get a checkup every 4 years. Between 40 and 60 years old, things get more serious. Every 2 years, and from 60 years old onwards, you're expected to be a regular in the waiting room. Annual check. But here's the really interesting part. Many insurance providers offer free medical checkups. Now, let's talk about those bad habits that, without you realizing it, are aging you faster than a banana left out in the open. But not all is lost. There are ways to turn the situation around. Life doesn't stop, and neither should you. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, health is the most precious asset.